Hi, it's the day after I did the North Oxford video, and this is the weather that I really wanted but didn't get. I'm now standing in the University Observatory quarter with the round building, the Blavatnik, in that direction, and I'm standing here because I can see a fair amount of the sky and show how nice it looks. So I'm just going to go on a very quick walk around, I think, a near part of North Oxford. This is so much nicer than it was yesterday and quite unsuspected. I put up a post recently showing the Schwarzmann building from down there. This is the other side of it, and that round thing is the Blavatnik. What used to be here was the Radcliffe Infirmary Hospital, and this building has been repurposed, but once upon a time I think part of it held the hospital cafeteria where visitors would go.
Understand how long it would take to
That's St Anne's College again on the other side of the road. I pointed out one of their newer buildings yesterday, the blocky thing which we'll come across in a minute. That thing. This is Woodstock Road. I don't know what that's being used for, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's been converted either into something like a graduate common room or the house of the master or whatever the head of the college is called. That's Belsire Court. I was much closer to it yesterday, and it's Oxford's first big block of flats. Flats in the way that we understand the term. I think it was built in the 30s. I did do a feature which mentioned it. I have a video up on Observatory Street, and I talked about the flats then, but I can't remember the exact date. This is the peculiarly limited stretch of pavement that I commented on in yesterday's video, and also in a post I put up this morning. I just want to know why they bothered to put it here for such a short distance. These buildings are all used by St Anne's now. Benfield and Loxley. They're another Oxford construction company, and I think, like King Ali, who I've mentioned several times, they've been around for quite a time. I think they built the Rainbow Bridge in the Parks, and that was in the early 1900s, 1906 or thereabouts. Most of the buildings on this stretch of road belong to the university in one way or another. They may be owned by colleges. There's some, I think it's Teddy Hall, St Edmund's Hall accommodation just up the road, or they may be parts of departments. Kellogg College. That is indeed named after the cornflake magnate or some relative thereof. And it's a descendant of what was originally something like a workers' educational association, a place for people who could study remotely without being full members of the university. As the university administration became a bit more formal, they needed a college of their own, as well as just the departments that they studied remotely, and that's what Kellogg is. And here's North Parade, which I visited yesterday. Now I'm coming up to the Orthodox Church again and to Parktown, but I'm going to go a little bit south of that. Cotswold Lodge Hotel. And this is Norham Road, which is another part of North Oxford in the geographical sense that we typically think of as North Oxford in the social sense. And look at the design of that, for example. And I can actually hear birds in the trees now calling to each other. Now I'm going to go south towards the university parks. I'm now coming up to Lady Margaret Hall on the left, and that's the 5th Girls' College, the one that I couldn't remember yesterday. That's one of the Lady Margaret Hall buildings. And this is another one of these fanciful red brick concoctions with a very striking arrangement of windows. And God knows what they're doing there. I don't know what was there, but it can't surely have been one of the Victorian houses, because they'd never be allowed to tear it down, I'd have thought, but maybe not. This is the front of Lady Margaret Hall. And this is what they call the Lady Margaret Hall Gate into the university parks. So this is the north end of the parks, and the science area is at the south end on my left. And that's the cricket pavilion, patiently waiting for the summer. That's the one that was designed by the same architect who did the examination schools and the Bridge of Sighs, and I have to say this is my favourite out of the three. Well, that was the phone holder, the gimbal, suddenly turning itself off. I recharged it this morning and the battery indicator seemed to show that it had plenty of life left, but maybe there's something wrong. This has happened before. So I'm going to end the video here. I'm standing in the middle of the university parks, facing south, facing the cricket pavilion, and this has been a very quick turn around another part of North Oxford in rather more attractive weather than yesterday. I'll see you next time.